tattoos last when placed in the dermis? Two-word answer: fibroblasts and collagen. Fibroblasts form connective tissue, and collagen is a protein that forms the basic building block of muscle. Ink in the dermis is trapped by a meshwork of fibroblast cells and collagen, and held in place by the mast cells. In essence, then, tattoos are preserved by the body much like scars. When we get a wound, white blood cells rush in to heal it, followed by collagen to form new tissue. Sometimes this process leaves a permanent mark, but unlike surface scars, tattoos live underneath the surface of the skin. The whole science of tattooing is about fine-tuning that process of scarification. All right, now I'm finally going to get to give it a try. That's right, I am going to tattoo this grapefruit. And we'll consider the rind to be the epidermis, the armor of the skin, and then the actual grapefruit, that's subcutaneous. And in between is the dermis, and that's where we want to put the ink.
Yes.
So let's tattoo some grapefruit.
All right. You're going to pick up the machine like this.
Okay.
Then you're going to use the foot switch to turn it on and off.
The pedal allows the tattooist to control the power going to the needles. It's a lot like a sewing machine, which is no coincidence considering Edison was trying to make a better embroidering device when he stumbled on it. Basically, it makes a series of puncture wounds. On average, the ideal depth of a tattoo is around 1/16 of an inch.
Okay.
Consistent, steady stroke. Do I want to go straight in?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, God. Sorry. This is hard. I am so glad I'm not doing this on a person. No wonder these guys do an apprenticeship before becoming tattoo artists. Despite the intense training, the inks themselves are not regulated. The American Academy of Dermatology says it's aware of over 50 different pigments used in tattoo ink, none of which have been approved for injection into human skin. Clearly, that's not slowing anybody down. When Eddie got his start in the 1950s, there weren't a lot of colors, and they didn't mix well. The reds often turned brown or faded, and the other shades were also unreliable. But Eddie had another problem. One ink supplier held a virtual monopoly.
And he raised the price from $8 a pound to $60. And that was a big jump.
Yeah.
So I decided to go to an ink company myself, have the ink analyzed, find out what it was, and see what I could develop.
Are you telling me you reverse engineered
Yes.
the original inks?
Yes.
As demand for tattoos grew, so did the push to come up with more lasting, vibrant pigments. Working with his chemists to come up with new hues, Eddie became a part of this color revolution. Pigment is just color. It has to be combined with a carrier. Common carriers include ethanol, witch hazel, and Listerine. Yep, the same kind you gargle with. Carriers are to pigment what alcohol is to perfume oil. Ink has been found to contain toxic metals such as mercury and lead. Yet only 2% of people with tattoos have a serious allergic reaction. Here's the rub. As long as the ink is locked in the dermis, it poses little health risk. But removing the tattoo involves dissolving it, freeing lead, mercury, and other metals to interact with our bodies. Getting a tattoo can take as little as a few minutes, but the results last a lifetime. The most common tattoo people want removed is the name of an ex. Sometimes tattoos just remind us of a person we no longer want to be.
I got the tattoo when I was 22 years old. I was living in New York City. I was trying to be rebellious.
Or the tattoo's just not executed very well.
We just called it the blob from probably the week after I got it. It's time to get this tattoo taken off my ankle.
Correctional.
She's not alone. 17% of those who get tattoos regret it. In fact, the tattoo removal industry is growing faster than the tattoo industry itself. 30% a year. Laser tattoo removal was invented in the late 1980s, but wasn't perfected until recently. Often the results of early laser removals, scarring, and discoloration, looked no better than the tattoo did. Modern removal uses the combined power of lasers and the body's own immune system. It's sounds like science fiction.
We're using the MedLight C6 laser from Con Bio. It's the Mercedes-Benz Q-Switch YAG lasers to remove tattoos.
Machines like this run upwards of $100,000.
This happens to be a new variety that we have in my office, and we're going to see that it's really going to roar through this treatment. I'm going to have you lie down.
Last year, more than 50,000 Americans had their tats zapped away. First, the doctor applies a numbing ointment. The laser penetrates the skin and basically cooks the tattoo. So how does tattoo laser removal work? A laser is a concentrated beam of light that excites atoms to a higher energy level, creating concentrated heat. For tattoo removal, the color of the laser is calibrated to the tattoo's color wavelength. This prevents it from harming any non-tattooed flesh. The beam blasts apart only the targeted ink color, breaking it into smaller pieces. Some of those pieces bubble up to the surface and flake off. But most of it falls below into the bloodstream, where the body's immune system devours the remains, erasing the tattoo.
I'm going to give you some goggles. And the goggles are important. They're specifically manufactured to selectively screen out this wavelength of light.
And they look great.
You ready?
Now you see it,
Oh my gosh, it's good.
now you don't.
It's like you're just erasing. I am freaking out. That's so fast.
You okay, Christy?
Around a minute, more or less. As the tattoo absorbs the energy from the laser, the skin around it widens, puckering into scales. It's actually heated water vapor.
That's it? How did that feel?
Fine, yes.
All right.
The cost of tattoo laser removal is 3 to 10 times more expensive than getting the original tattoo. That ought to make you think twice about your future tattoo decisions. Knowing tattoos can be removed should be reassuring, but I'm not playing laser roulette with my skin. Hey, who's the dude with the robot on his arm?
Every Monday on Storytime.